The biggest bully, Meghan's most cruel behavior was not towards Catherine. This is the most despicable act. I'll go deeper to discuss this with you again. Hello friends, welcome to the King YouTube channel. So, guess what happened on March 8th, 2024? Meghan Markle was at this event, chatting away like she usually does. She talked about some serious stuff like feeling like a victim, drama, soap operas, and yeah, being bullied. But let's rewind a bit and talk about Meghan's own past with bullying. First off, she wasn't exactly nice to the palace staff. And then there's this incident where she wasn't very kind to Princess Charlotte. It was a big deal. Meghan made Catherine, the Duchess of Cambridge, cry, can you believe it? They were all stressed out about bridesmaid stuff, and Meghan said something that really hurt Catherine's feelings. It was about Charlotte's dress. Apparently, the hem wasn't perfect. That's just mean, don't you think? No decent dressmaker would leave a hem like that. And for such a fancy event, it's a huge no. The designer would have been freaking out if they saw that on TV, and the person who sewed the dress would have been in big trouble too. Well, did Meghan Markle offer some huge bribe to make them overlook such a mess? The only good thing is that Charlotte was still little, so it probably didn't bother her too much that day. But she's growing up, you know. She's starting to understand things better. And yeah, things might change. Hopefully, with her parents' help, she can look back and see how silly her old aunt was on that day and just laugh it off. Trying to shame poor little Princess Charlotte and her parents that day, Meghan just showed her true colors as a mean person. She tried to make Charlotte look bad, but ended up making herself look bad instead. And guess what? This isn't just me saying it. Even the nastiest, most dramatic woman ever to step foot in the royal family agrees. Meghan really has some nerve. I'll give her that. It's like she doesn't even see or care about all the harm she's caused. She's just blind to it all. So cruel to the whole family. But you know what's the worst part? She bullied a 3-year-old girl. Can you believe it? And not just that, she even made fun of the late queen, who was doing her duty till the very end, despite being sick and grieving. But hey, according to Meghan, we're the bullies for calling her out on her behavior. It's crazy, right? She just can't see it. To be honest, I'm not even surprised by all of this. Meghan's jealousy towards Princess Catherine, Prince William, and their adorable kids just shows poorly on her. We all know it wasn't the child's fault, or even her mom's for that matter. And can you believe Meghan had the nerve to talk about cruelty on International Women's Day? It's like something out of a movie. Thanks to Tom Bower's book, all our suspicions about Meghan's bullying ways were confirmed. And you know what's even crazier? It's been over a year and Meghan still hasn't taken legal action against Tom Bower. I mean, seriously, who does that? Who could be so mean to such a sweet little girl? Meghan's behavior wasn't just petty, it was way worse. It was downright cruel and evil. Just imagine how much effort went into planning that wedding, and Meghan even had Javon as the designer. You'd expect every dress to be absolutely perfect, right? Meghan claimed that other staff members didn't get her way of doing things and she wasn't there to babysit them. But that doesn't justify being mean. And what about Meghan's own wedding dress? Why didn't it fit her properly? And the bridesmaids' dresses weren't even done. She apparently had to call in a tailor to finish them all. I feel bad for that poor tailor who had to rush to fix all those dresses overnight. Something about this whole story just seems off to me. Why would Meghan have let those dresses go out before they were ready? These designers have a reputation to uphold worldwide, after all. I mean, they were the same design team for Audrey Hepburn. Now, it makes sense why Meghan's dress didn't fit right. She's already admitted that her wedding dress didn't fit well because she kept changing her mind. I bet they regret taking on that job. But here's one thing we can all agree on: nothing and nobody will ever be good enough for Meghan Markle. She's a real control freak, but she's so careless in everything she does. Maybe she was hoping Catherine would stay up all night fixing little Charlotte's dress. I mean, the texts about going to the tailor were leaked, and it backfired on her. Maybe Catherine wanted to show the world this is what Meghan wants, so this is what she gets. Charlotte always looks beautiful at other weddings, and Catherine, well, she always looks flawless. Meghan Markle insisted on having a hairdresser flown over from France, even though she ended up with the same old messy updo she always has. She reportedly didn't bother going to the fittings for Givenchy, even though it would have only taken a couple of hours on the Eurostar from Paris to London. I can totally believe that. The designer, Claire White Keller, ended up leaving Givenchy in April 2020, and remember when Meghan pushed Rosamund Pike off the stage when Claire was given an award in 2018? Yeah, MS Pike wasn't too happy about that. Meghan, as usual, crashed the event and tried to make it all about herself. Have you noticed how she really comes alive when she's trying to control the narrative? That look of disbelief on her face, that smirk, it's just gross. Makes me want to give her a good slap. And I want to make it clear that I'm not a violent person. Maybe Meghan Markle needs to attend about 10back.to.back events. Everyone should get a chance to see how shallow, how thick-headed and clueless she is. She can have 10 or more chances to repeat her lies, like the dishwashing story, and how she can't answer a question that isn't all about her, her feelings, and her views. There'd be no coming back from that. The truth is ruthless. Abusive liars just can't help themselves. They can't stop being wicked, abusive, lying, taking, grifting like Meghan can't stop. Their grifting, taking ways can't be fixed by any PR in the world. Psychopaths have things wrong with their brains, and that doesn't always lead to antisocial behavior. Actually, there are some psychopaths who exhibit prosocial behavior. However, a more accurate diagnosis for Meghan would consider both her antisocial and narcissistic behaviors. That would lead us to malignant narcissism, which is essentially narcissistic personality disorder with added traits of sadism, paranoia, and antisocial behaviors. Malignant narcissists possess all the characteristics needed to engage in the kind of sadistic bullying we often see from Meghan Markle. So labeling her as a psychopath is really unnecessary. And just so you know, the reason Meghan keeps bouncing back is because she never admits fault. She genuinely believes she's done nothing wrong. Part of her disorder involves fiercely defending her false ego, protecting herself from any outside criticism or blame. You can think of malignant narcissism like a drug for Meghan. It's what prevents her from believing anything negative said about her by anyone, at any time. People with narcissistic personality disorder or malignant narcissism typically aren't affected by negative comments until their protective ego begins to crumble. That's when they'll bounce right back, convinced by their disorder that they truly are superior to everyone else and that others just haven't realized it yet. But getting back to Meghan's complaints. Now, pardon me for asking, given Meghan's comments, but didn't this sacred time apply to the late Queen's husband, the late Duke of Edinburgh? He was on his deathbed while Harry and Meghan were out there on a global stage, making all sorts of claims from racism to Meghan feeling isolated, even considering self-harm, all blamed on how the royals treated her. Did Meghan ever stop to think about the feelings the late Queen might have been going through during her husband's final days? And after all that, Meghan had the audacity to demand an apology from the Queen. Honestly, I'm surprised Meghan didn't demand a curtsy too. It seems like Harry and Meghan are becoming incredibly bold. You know, maybe it's time to consider taking away their titles, especially with all the chaos they keep stirring up in the media. I doubt they dare to go after the big shots at Netflix and Spotify. But I guess the royals are an easy target for Harry and Meghan right now, especially since they're still recovering from a tough time. Maybe they see them as a bit vulnerable and want to jump back into this toxic environment to help out the royals, as Angie Morgan mentioned in News International. Well, if that's the case, God help the king and the monarchy as a whole. At least the journalists are raking in the cash, especially the ones with families to support. What do you think about Harry and Meghan? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and share this video with anyone who might enjoy it. Make sure to subscribe to the King YouTube channel for more updates in the future. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you tonight.